This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. One final segment, and before we get to our Salt Hill Pub picks of the week, Andrew, let's talk some Patriots off-season news. Obviously, the Julian Edelman suspension, disappointing news. He has appealed it, no word yet. But assuming he's gone for the season, or for the 4 games to start the season, what does that do for this Patriots team?
So I think it's just going to open up the wide receiver battle a little bit more. I mean, guys like Chris Hogan is going to have to step up. Malcolm Mitchell.
Yeah, if he's healthy.
If he's healthy,
right.
He's going to be a big piece. And like Philip Dorsett, and the Pats recently traded for Cordarrelle Patterson, right,
yep.
from the Raiders. So some other guys are going to have to step up. I mean, it's disappointing. Obviously, Edelman wasn't there last year at all. So I was looking forward to having him be back.
Right.
His connection with Brady, it's really good. And, it's only for 4 games. I think they'll be okay. Obviously, they made it to the Super Bowl last year without him. But still, it's disappointing. Obviously, you don't want any of your players to be caught for steroids or any kind of PEDs. But I think the Pats will survive. I think they'll make do.
And they start the season at home against Houston, then they go on the road at Jacksonville, which was going to be a tough game whether they have Edelman or not, and then at Detroit against Matt Patricia, and then back home against the Dolphins. So if they can go 2-2 in those games, I don't think that's terrible. I mean, 1-3 would be a little questionable, but 2-2 would be fine. And Gronk's back.
Gronk will have to step up a little bit.
Yeah, so he'll get his catches. And kind of an odd move, they had their second week of OTAs. They had the mandatory minicamp and then the second week of OTAs. They went to Fenway as like a bonding trip on Monday. Then they canceled the last 2 days, which I thought was kind of weird. Belichick usually, he will hammer, this is where the foundation's built, and this is where we start our season. It's important. And then they canceled it kind of without any reason. I thought it was kind of curious.
It is a little strange. I mean, we're seeing the Patriots, kind of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, doing things they haven't normally done in the past, right? Normally they've been all in. They'll go to every single voluntary practice. They'll be at everything. And so they're not as participating maybe as much as we're used to, but I think they're kind of nearing the end of their careers. They're just coming a little more relaxed. I think once the season starts, they'll be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to read into it too much as some big conspiracy thing, but I thought it was just kind of interesting, and obviously training camp coming up in August.
It's time for the Salt Hill Pub Picks of the Week. Salt Hill Pub, honest food, perfect pints, live music, now here to serve you in 5 locations.
All right, here we are with our Salt Hill Pub Picks of the Week, and now that basketball's done and we're just stuck with baseball, we're going to do them a little differently. We'll take our rankings of the top 5 LeBron James landing spots. So, Andrew, you'll go first. Where is the team that is number 5?
So I think this team is going to do a good job of wooing him to the West Coast. I'm going with the Lakers as my number 5 pick. I think they have a lot of good young players. Alonzo Ball, obviously D'Angelo Russell. I think it's a good fit for him. They have some good assets for the future as well. And I think they could sign another veteran player. Maybe that would attract him as well. That's my number 5 pick.
All right, my number 5 pick, I think he could stay in Cleveland. I think it is a little bit of a long shot, but if they make the moves and the pieces, he's kind of settled down there in Cleveland. He could stay with the Cavs. Who you got number 4?
So I'm going with the Spurs for number 4. They're a really good established team. I mean, every single season they're good. It'd be interesting to see LeBron James going out to play under Greg Popovich. That could be interesting. Obviously, a legendary coach. A number of veteran players on the Spurs. Obviously, an all-star like Kawhi Leonard. Could be a good fit for him. I think that's a good number 4 pick.
All right, my number 4 pick is the Miami Heat, and that might come out of nowhere a little bit, but he still has that relationship with Pat Riley in the front office, Spoelstra. So you never know what kind of pieces can be moved around, and obviously they have some cap space. They could go after LeBron James. Number 3 pick, who you got?
So I'm going with the Celtics. I personally don't. I hope this doesn't happen. I think just the system Danny Ainge has made has been really good. I hope he doesn't just throw it all out the window. Obviously, that would create some chaos with Kyrie Irving. That would really upset him probably, but the Celtics just have really good assets, really good young players, and guys like Gordon Hayward and Horford. The Celtics, I think, are going to be a finals contender for years to come. That could attract LeBron, and that's my 3rd pick.
He'll stay in the East and have that easier path to the finals. I agree that they could be in the mix. I'm going to go with the Houston Rockets as my number 3. Once again, I don't think it will happen because they were so close to getting to the finals. If they had a healthy Chris Paul, I think they might have beaten the Warriors. So I don't think they need to go out and put all their chips in. They've got Chris Paul, and they've got James Harden and some role players. So I think they're okay, but That's a viable option. Rockets number 3.
Yep.
Who you got as number 2?
So number 2, I'm going back with the East, going with the 76ers. I mean, obviously we've seen they have a ton of draft picks, ton of really good players. I think they're really well set for the future, and they could sign another veteran superstar to attract LeBron. And again, they're in the East. My top 3 picks are all in the East just because I think the West is going to be harder for him.
Right.
But 76ers, I think that's a really good landing spot for him.
I agree with you there. I'm taking the 76ers as well. All the things you just said in the East, they've got some young talent, but they're a little too young right now. So one more big player, they could be over the top.
Right.
Number 1 pick for where you think LeBron James will land.
So I really think LeBron is going to stay in Cleveland. I'm going with the Cavaliers. I think if he really wants to, I think he's going to convince the front office to maybe get some other pieces, maybe trade some of these guys they currently have, try to build a different team around him, because currently this one is not beating the Warriors. But I think he's going to stay in Cleveland. I think he's going to, his drive for championships is still going to be there, but he's staying in Cleveland in his home city.
Yeah.
And I just think he's going to continue there and finish his career in Cleveland.
All right. So my number 1 pick is the Los Angeles Lakers. And like you said before, they got a lot of young pieces. They have some cap space. He has a house out in L.A. I'm worried that going to the West, you're right, might be a tougher assignment for him. But the Lakers are my number 1. Cavs are your number 1. So that's going to be it. Obviously, free agency is going to be an exciting time the rest of June and into July, so we'll be following that closely. Thanks to Andrew Zerhide for joining me today, and you can check out our website, ycnnow.com, for all the shows. Thanks for watching.